So this morning, we are exploring an invitation to a place of belonging. But what does it mean to be in a place of belonging? And what does belonging even mean? And how do we get there? That's what I've been exploring this week. And I think yesterday showed me a glimmer of what belonging is and isn't. Michael Meade says loneliness is not simply about being by oneself, but about being unable to communicate the things that truly matter to oneself. When there are parts of who we are that we are not allowed to share, it is a disconnection. It sends us into this place of loneliness. It makes it hard for us to feel like we belong when there are parts of us that are not being accepted. I heard a number of stories yesterday from folks whose own families could not hear them say that this is who I am. Myself, I was blessed in my teen years to find a book called The Bisexual Option by Fritz Klein that gave me language to talk about my own identity as bisexual. Now, it took me another 4 or 5 years to come out to my parents, and I still didn't quite feel accepted there, although I knew they loved me. But it was at the Midwest Bisexual, Lesbian, Gay, Transgender, at the time Ally, it's now been changed to Asexual College Conference, which we fondly called Mumbly-Tech, that I first found a sense of belonging around my identity as a queer person. But it's been many years since I've been in that space, and even today, there are times I wonder if I am welcome, if I can bring that part of me as a bisexual woman who is in a heterosexual monogamous marriage. It is often easy for that piece of me to be forgotten or left behind or discounted as not real. So yesterday, I had the blessing of being able to bless others, to take a little bit of Vaseline mixed with biodegradable glitter. We are trying to be environmentally friendly and glittery at the same time. But to take a bit of that glitter and place it on a hand or a cheek or all over an arm, or one time even on a nose, and bless people. Some of the blessings were specific to the needs that each person expressed to me, but many of the blessings went like this. May this glitter remind you how bright you shine in the world. And may you know that you are loved. And so many people teared up. That simple message, I found it hitting myself and resonating within as well, not knowing even that I needed to hear it too. That their gratitude and hugs blessed me with that same message in return. Oftentimes with also glitter getting everywhere, as it tends to do. Belonging is a strange thing because too often we think of it as needing to happen because of other people, where the research actually shows that belonging starts within us as well. Being able to accept all of who we are and being able to talk about who we are and express to other people who we are is one of the first steps of belonging. Now, don't get me wrong, belonging can't happen in isolation completely, because we are relational beings. In our very biology, in our DNA, in the ways our bodies and brains function, we need one another. We are physiologically built to connect with one another. When we can't connect, it shows up in our bodies, in aches and pains, sometimes even illness that can take years off of our life if we don't have a sense of belonging and connection, both with ourselves and with a community. And as I saw yesterday, something called belonging uncertainty shows up even more often in folks who are members of marginalized groups. When part of your identity is not seen as standard, as the norm, whether it is your sexual identity, your gender identity, your racial identity, your ability, your age, your economic status, all of these parts combine and overlap. And there are many places in the world and in our communities where we cannot bring our full selves to be. But that is why this community exists. Here we strive to be a place of belonging. And we want to invite others into that belonging where we can share all of who we are, where we can find ways and spaces to articulate who we are with one another and be heard, be accepted and loved for all of those pieces of who we are. So I would like to invite us into a brief musical reflection, and then Chad will share a little more this morning on our topic. So please join me in singing hymn 1051, We Are. And as we talk about ancestors, grandmothers and grandfathers, I invite you to think of that term broadly. Not all of us have blood kin whose memories we bring with us and hold with us, but our ancestors can be anyone who has transformed and inspired our lives.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Boy, I'd hate to have to follow that hymn. In 1979, Audre Lorde closed, or near the close of her speech at the March on Washington for Lesbian and Gay Rights, challenged her audience with this question: what kind of world do we want to be part of? What kind of world do we want to be part of? There are so many questions in that question. Who is we? When we talk about belonging, about beloved community, about creating a space where everyone can belong, can find that connection in Vaseline and biodegradable glitter that Krista made for them, when they aren't finding it in the rest of the world. Who are we? We have to keep asking that question because we can get so comfortable with the we that we are used to. I am serving as a ministerial intern at another church in that space, a UU church. A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with a couple of black members, one a visitor actually and one a member. And it reminded me of how we must think about the we. One, a member at that church, said it has been his experience in mostly white spaces that he's welcome as long as he adjusts to the way we do things. His blessing to me, to us, was that he felt enough of a sense of belonging and courage and hope and love for us that he shared that to make us expand what us means. And the other, a visitor to the church, talked about being at, I think, other UU churches and being told, we need more people like you. Meant, maybe, in all the best ways, but expressed in a way that is hurtful and exclusive because we don't know what we means. Because we don't think about it. We don't ask the question. So as we think about who we are, open our hearts, our minds, our eyes, our ideas, and expand it. We speak of inclusiveness. Let us lean into expansiveness. Who is we? And the world. The world is big. What kind of world do we want to live in? We can only affect our pieces of it. What kind of world do we want to live in this space that we share together with members of another faith? There is a cross behind that screen. That is not a symbol of faith for all of us, but it is powerful for other people. We want to create a world where people can express and hold and live into faith that makes them and us better and more connected. And we want a world where Kevin isn't the only one stepping outside in a time of need, where everybody's arguing over who's going to get the Uber for the person in need. Those are our worlds. We want to be part of that. And what does it mean to be part? To be part of. Now that sounds passive. But we are the components of that world and we build ourselves into it. A young trans artist that I know told me this week about her fascination with the idea of the pixel, the most basic unit in digital imagery, and what it means for transness and humanness, and rebuilding who we are, individually, as Krista said, and in connection, in the full picture that all those pixels come together to build, and then rebuild and shift and change. What kind of world do we want to be part of? I don't have the answer. Because the answer, I think, is, I don't know. We don't know the way all those pixels can come together, and which ways are best, and how long they will be best. So the answer might be, let's keep trying to find a better answer. To build a world where we can say, in rest, in love, in hope, in faith, what kind of world? This one that we're in right now, but only for right now, maybe, for a little while, until it needs to be something more. So may it be, and may it be because we make it so. Amen. And now, please join us in singing number 3. Oh boy, I don't have my glasses. 318. It was either 318 or 313. We would be one. The words again will be on the screen, and you have, it's 318 in the gray hymnal. You have the hymnals there if you prefer that.
Which one do you want me to play? 313 is 318.
Oh, Bruce, I've missed you. 318. The words for our offering today are "to belong" by me. To belong is to be longing, for a space to be held, and that will hold friend, stranger, neighbor, other. For silences broken by the songs of the silenced. For time that does not stretch but encircles. To belong is to be longing. For wholeness of the beloved, of all who belong and are longing. The basket will be passed here in person. If you are on Zoom or prefer to give online, please use the instructions on the screen or go to our website anytime and feel free to donate. Once finance chair, always finance chair.
I will leave you with these closing words. May you shine bright like glitter, and know that you are loved and part of this place and space.